All right. So are you ready to dive into this new Trader U article?
Yeah, absolutely.
Learn how to control your mind. Catchy title, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely caught my eye. It even says, use this to brainwash yourself. Now, before you think we've gone off the deep end,
Right.
we're not actually advocating for like mind control cults or anything.
Yeah, no.
But
it is about
how you
now
shape your thoughts.
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely.
To kind of shape your reality. That's the whole premise here.
Yeah. It really delves into, the whole idea of like your mind is powerful. It influences not just how we see things,
Right.
but like even our brain structure.
Yeah. I thought that was super interesting.
Yeah.
It's not just like some self-help, fluff piece.
Right.
Like they're talking about the actual mind changing the brain, which I was like, whoa. Reminded me of that study with the London cab drivers.
Yeah.
Who, like, because they have to memorize all those crazy street maps,
Yeah.
they actually had larger hippocampus, like the part of the brain that, like, deals with spatial memory.
Yeah, I think the article even uses the term neuroplasticity
Yeah, that's right.
to describe that phenomenon. It's like the brain's ability to rewire itself
Yeah.
based on what we experience and what we're thinking.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so every time, you learn something new or practice a skill, you're kind of creating new pathways in there.
So it's almost like our brains are like evolving.
Yeah.
Like a software program that's constantly updating.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're the programmers.
Right.
Instead of like someone else doing it, it's our thoughts and our actions.
Exactly. And it's not limited to just skills and memory.
Right.
It also applies to like our beliefs and our attitude.
Oh, wow.
So the article really argues that like by choosing what we're thinking about, we can actually change, the pathways associated with things like self-esteem, anxiety,
and even happiness.
Okay, so that's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
But maybe a little intimidating too, right?
Right. Because if we...
if we really have that much power over our brains,
yeah.
where do we begin?
That's a great question.
Because like my mind is a crowded room sometimes.
Right.
With thoughts like bouncing around like ping pong balls.
Yeah, and that's where I think...
so how do you like...
Well, that's where understanding the subconscious mind comes in.
Okay.
The article describes it as like this huge reservoir of thoughts and memories, beliefs that are operating, under the surface.
Like the behind the scenes crew of our mental movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Working tirelessly. We don't always see it,
Yeah, and it's important to remember that it's not always a good thing. Oh, interesting.
That can hold on to old patterns and beliefs that aren't good for us anymore. Like those limiting beliefs.
Oh, yes.
Like I'm not good enough.
Those are the worst.
Not smart enough.
It's like this like background noise of negativity, you know?
Exactly.
But if they're buried in our subconscious, how do we even know they're there?
Yeah.
Let alone like change them.
Right. And that's where...
Is that where...
I think the article introduces mindfulness and self-reflection.
Oh, okay.
It's like shining a light...
So mindfulness and self-reflection.
Into that.
For like, those
are buzzwords, right?
Right. But the article is saying they're crucial for this whole like mind control thing.
Yeah. And they're really about becoming aware of those thoughts.
Can you break them down though?
And beliefs that are actually shaping things.
Yeah. What do they actually mean, practically speaking?
Sure. Yeah.
Because when I hear like mindfulness, I just think of like someone sitting on a meditation cushion for like hours.
Right.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
There are definitely some misconceptions about mindfulness.
Yeah.
It's not about like emptying your mind or
Right.
reaching some blissful state or something.
Okay.
It's just paying attention to your thoughts and feelings
In the moment.
in the moment,
Yeah.
without judging them.
So it's more about being an observer of what your brain's doing.
Yeah.
Rather than getting like swept up in it.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like hitting the pause button.
Yeah.
On all that mental chatter.
Step back and look at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have self-reflection, which, builds on that.
Gotcha.
So you're taking time to really think about why you think and feel the way you do.
So mindfulness is like noticing the thought, and then self-reflection is like investigating it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Like, where did it come from?
And the article suggests
was it here?
all sorts of techniques for both.
Okay.
Meditation, journaling, even just taking a few minutes to check in with yourself throughout the day.
Yeah.
The key is just finding what works for you.
That makes sense.
And doing it regularly.
Okay, so this is all making sense, but is there like any scientific proof to back this up?
That's a great question.
You know what I mean?
And I think the article addresses that.
Because I'm all for personal growth, but I don't want to just be like, you talk
dabbling in feel-good stuff.
The research in neuroscience that backs this up.
Okay, cool.
Remember neuroplasticity?
Yeah, the brain rewiring itself.
Yeah.
Are you saying that our thoughts can actually change the physical structure of our brains?
That's what I'm saying. Whoa! Yeah, and there are some incredible studies.
For example, research has shown that practicing mindfulness meditation can actually increase gray matter density.
Oh, wow.
In the areas of your brain.
That's wild.
That deal with attention and emotional regulation and self-awareness.
So it's like mental weightlifting.
Yeah, it's like strengthening those neural pathways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mind officially blown. So controlling our thoughts, we can like shape our brains and then like influence our well-being.
Right.
Okay.
It all comes.
But the article mentions a bunch of these techniques.
Yeah.
That visualization, affirmations, gratitude.
Right.
Connecting with nature.
Yeah.
Where do we even start?
Well, that's the thing.
All of that.
The article emphasizes that you don't have to do everything at once.
Wow.
It's about choosing one or two that feel good to you.
So build your mental toolkit. Right?
Yeah.
Kind of find the
just kind of experiment.
Tools that work for you.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Find what works.
So should we go through some of these techniques then?
Yeah, let's do it.
And kind of like break them down a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's start with visualization.
Okay, visualization.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of like sports movie montage-y to me.
Right.
But the article's like, no, this is serious.
Right.
Like this is a real technique.
Yeah.
So how does this work?
So visualization is all about using your imagination, right? Yeah. To create what you want in your life.
Okay.
And the article says that when you vividly imagine something,
right,
whether it's, achieving some goal or overcoming a challenge or even just like feeling more confident, you're basically sending this message to your subconscious.
Like, hey, this is what I want.
This is what we're working toward.
Okay. Yeah. So you're kind of planting the seed in your mind.
Yeah.
And letting your subconscious
giving it something to work with.
Yeah, work on it.
Okay.
And the more detail you add, like the sights and the sounds and the feelings, even smells, the more powerful it gets.
That reminds me of that study where they had two groups of basketball players, and one group physically practiced their free throws, and the other group just visualized making the shots.
Yeah.
And they both improved.
Right.
Like both groups got better.
That's so cool.
At free throws.
Yeah.
Which I thought was wild.
Just goes to show.
So it actually can rewire your brain and actually have real world effects.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see how this could be a really useful tool.
Absolutely.
What about affirmations?
Okay, yeah.
Because, you see those everywhere now.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Do those actually work? So affirmations are all about using...
Or is that just like wishful thinking?
Positive statements to reprogram those limiting beliefs that we were talking about.
Right, yeah.
So when you repeat them consistently, whether you're saying them out loud or in your head or even writing them down, you're kind of flooding your subconscious with these new positive messages.
It's like creating a new soundtrack for your life, right?
Yeah.
Instead of the negative self-talk.
Yeah, getting rid of that old tape.
Yeah, replace it with something more positive and uplifting.
Exactly.
But how do you come up with those?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because just saying.
Because some of them can feel kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
Right?
I am rich and successful.
Yeah, I am a millionaire.
Yeah.
That feel forced and fake.
Right, and that's why I think it's important to...
It's kind of delusional. Choose affirmations that feel believable to you.
Okay.
That resonate with your values.
That makes sense.
So, for example, instead of I am a millionaire, you might say something like, I am attracting abundance into my life. or I'm capable of achieving financial success.
So it's about shifting like your mindset rather than just like wishing for stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And repetition is key.
That makes sense.
You know?
So it's not enough to just like say it once and then forget about it.
The article suggests like incorporating it into your daily routine.
Right.
Maybe say it while you're getting ready in the morning or when you're on your commute or even before you go to bed.
Okay, so we got visualization, affirmations. Those are pretty powerful techniques.
Yeah.
The article also mentions gratitude.
Yeah, gratitude's a big one.
And why is that so important?
So gratitude is all about
This whole thing.
shifting your focus from what you don't have to what you do have.
Okay.
And what's cool is
It's like that saying, gratitude turns what we have into enough.
yes, exactly. And there's so much research showing the benefits of it.
Right.
Okay, studies have shown that people who practice gratitude are happier, they're less stressed, less anxious, and even physically healthier.
So it's not just like a feel-good thing.
It's good for your mind and your body.
It has actual benefits.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we actually cultivate gratitude, though?
How do you actually do it?
You know.
Because it can feel kind of forced, too, right?
Right.
Like if you're not actually feeling it.
Well, the article suggests things like keeping a gratitude journal.
Okay.
Or writing thank you notes. Or even just taking a few moments each day to think about what you're grateful for.
Okay.
So make it a practice. Don't just like hope it'll happen.
Make it a conscious effort.
Yeah, okay. It doesn't have to be complicated.
Right.
You could just think of 3 things you're grateful for
Yeah.
when you wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe share something you're grateful for at dinner with your family.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So small but powerful.
Okay, so we've talked about like, using our thoughts, visualization, affirmations, gratitude.
Yeah.
The article also mentions connecting with nature, which seems kind of like out of left field.
Right.
How does spending time outdoors help us control our minds?
So the article really highlights how restorative nature is.
Okay.
It says that spending time in nature, whether it's going for a walk in the park or hiking in the woods, or even just sitting under a tree.
Yeah, I mean, I always feel better after I like go outside,
It calms your mind and body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any like science behind that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's a ton of research.
Okay.
Studies have shown that being in nature reduces stress hormones, lowers blood pressure, and even improves mood and cognitive function.
Okay, so it's not just like,
There's even a term for it.
Yeah.
Nature deficit disorder.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Really?
It describes those negative impacts of like
So it's like a real thing.
not being in nature enough.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Okay, so it's essential for our well-being.
Yeah.
But how does that tie into this mind control thing?
So the article says that being in nature can help us quiet that mental chatter.
Right, yeah, all that noise.
That we're always dealing with.
Yeah.
And it helps us tap into that peace and stillness.
That makes sense.
Lets us disconnect from
Hitting the reset button
the distraction
on your mind.
of life and the modern world.
So you can kind of come back refreshed and
Right. And then when you have that renewed sense of clarity,
refocus.
it's easier to implement those other techniques that we talked about.
Okay.
Like the visualizations and affirmations and gratitude.
So it all kind of works together.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. So we've covered a lot of grounds here
Yeah, we have.
about controlling our minds.
That's pretty fascinating stuff.
From like the science of how our brains can actually change
Neuroplasticity.
to all those different techniques.
Yeah.
Like visualization, affirmations, gratitude, connecting with nature,
Yeah, all of it.
and even surrendering control, which seemed kind of counterintuitive,
Right.
but it all ties together.
It does, yeah.
It's been quite a journey.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah, but that's what these deep dives are all about, right?
Exactly. Exploring these ideas.
And the article we've been looking at, Learn How to Control Your Mind, it acknowledges that this is a journey.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not like you just flip a switch
It's not a quick fix.
and suddenly you've mastered your mind, right?
Right. It's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
There are going to be good days and bad days.
It's like anything else.
Some days it'll feel easy.
Some days.
Some days it'll feel really hard.
Yeah, your mind will be like a peaceful garden.
Exactly.
And other days it'll be like, a wild jungle.
or a monkey jumping around in there.
Right, exactly.
But no.
But I guess the key is to, like, not get discouraged.
Yeah, to be kind to yourself.
When it feels hard.
To remember that it's a practice.
And just keep practicing.
Exactly.
Like any skill.
Like, you wouldn't expect to pick up a guitar.
You got to keep at it.
And shred like Jimi Hendrix on day one, right?
Exactly. No, you got to...
You got to, like, put in the time.
Practice those chords.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold those calluses. And the article reminds us that we're not alone in this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's, like, tons of resources out there.
Books, apps, therapists, coaches.
Yeah, if you need help.
Whatever works for you.
So we're kind of all like explorers, right?
Yeah, like that.
Venturing into this uncharted territory
landscape
of our own minds.
Exactly.
With a map and a compass.
But there's going to be detours.
But knowing that there's going to be unexpected stuff.
Yeah, and wrong turns.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's part of the fun.
And I think that's what makes it so exciting, right?
Totally.
Because the more you explore,
the more you learn,
the more you discover about yourself,
about how your mind works,
your strengths, your weaknesses,
what you're capable of.
Yeah, that's really well said.
Thanks.
So, as we're kind of wrapping things up here, what are some like key takeaways?
Well, I think the biggest one is
you want our listeners to remember from this whole deep dive
that we have so much more power than we think we do. Over our minds, over our lives. It's not about never having negative thoughts.
Right. It's not about being perfect.
It's about noticing them, understanding them, and choosing how we respond to them.
So it's about becoming like
you were saying, the CEO of your mind.
Yeah, the CEO of your own mind, making conscious choices.
Right. Not just letting your mind run on autopilot.
Yeah, about what you're thinking about, what you're believing.
Exactly.
And the article gives us all those tools.
Yeah, we've got a whole toolkit now.
To help us do that.
Visualization, affirmations, gratitude, spending time in nature.
It's about finding what works for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Experimenting, finding what resonates.
So it's a very personal thing.
It's a journey.
Yeah, it's not one size fits all.
And it's not linear either.
It's a process, yeah.
There will be ups and downs.
Right. You're going to have setbacks.
But you just got to keep going.
You got to be patient with yourself.
Celebrate the small wins.
Yeah, celebrate those wins.
And remember, you don't have to do it alone.
Right. There's help out there.
Absolutely.
Okay, before we go, I want to circle back to the title. Learn how to control your mind.
Yeah.
Use this to brainwash yourself. That brainwashing part.
It's a strong word.
It kind of threw me off at first.
Yeah, it can be a little jarring.
Because we've been talking about all this positive stuff.
But I think it's important to distinguish...
empowerment, personal growth.
I mean, like, actual brainwashing where someone's forcing their beliefs on you and what we're talking about here.
So more like...
More self-directed. Consciously choosing.
Yeah, you're choosing your own thoughts.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not being forced on you from the outside.
Right. It's about aligning your thoughts with your values.
Okay.
Creating a better life for yourself.
Yeah, and the article does say we should be critical.
Critical thinking is key. Question our beliefs. Yeah, don't just blindly accept anything.
Make sure they're based in reality.
Exactly. Be discerning.
And evidence.
Use your mind. Use your judgment.
Yeah.
And remember, your mind is constantly changing anyway.
That's true.
So even if you pick up a belief that's not helpful, you can always change it.
So it's not like you're stuck with it forever.
No, it's an ongoing process.
It's like, okay, you tried that on, it doesn't fit, let's try something else.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is, yeah.
So it's really about this ongoing process.
Of learning and growing.
And self-reflection, growth,
And the article encourages us to have fun with it.
Experiment.
Be curious, be playful.
Don't take it too seriously.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
So to our listeners out there, I encourage you.
Yeah, keep exploring.
Keep exploring. Keep learning.
Keep learning about your amazing mind.
And keep believing in the power of your own mind.
Because it's more powerful than you think.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, that was a great conversation.
This was awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, everybody.
Hey, next time.